Welcome back everyone. Time to do another comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 and the newly released iPhone XR. Totally joking, it's vice versa. The Note 20 is the newest one, and what I can tell you is there's a lot of pros and cons for both, and there might be some advantages for the iPhone XR, there's going to be some advantages for the Note 20. Now I can tell you, if you own the XR, just keep it. There's no point in upgrading to it. There's no point in upgrading to the Note 20. You should save your money. If anything, you should wait a couple of months until the Note 20 goes down in price if you want to see it. But you can pick up an iPhone XR right now in the used market for less than $500, and I've seen a lot of them go on Amazon for less than that too, so I'll find the cheapest one of that and link it down below. But the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 just got released, so it's that brand new $1,000 phone, flagship from Samsung, and it only makes sense that it has that $1,000 price tag still, but give it like a couple of months, maybe even like a couple more weeks, and this thing will depreciate probably like an extra couple $100. So I know it sounds crazy, but it happens every single year. Now, like I said, I'll leave both of these linked down in the description below so you can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the panels on both, and starting off with the iPhone XR since it's the older one, this phone has that 6.1 inch liquid retina IPS panel. It's 828 by 1792, and it's not a bad panel at all. You know what I mean? It has True Tone on it. You have, Force Touch, not really as the long press touch, but I've always found it to, be a pretty good looking panel. Now, compared to the Note 20, it's definitely not as good, but I think it gets the job done for the most part. You have a little bit of bezel around the whole entire display, but you do have that notch, and compared to something like the Note 20, you can obviously tell that the panel on it just isn't, as good looking as something like the Note 20. That phone looks kind of futuristic. The iPhone XR does have that older type of style, and it's crazy that we're even considering the iPhone XR having an older type of style, because it really isn't. It's a timeless design. It's just that notch that kind of affects it a little bit, and once Apple fully takes away that notch, then we can start talking about it a little bit more. But in terms of the design, it looks fine, but the XR's panel is good enough for the most part. I don't think it's going to wow anybody, but it'll definitely get the job done. Whereas on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, you have a 6.7 inch Super AMOLED Plus display, and it's a 1080p panel, so it's not like a crazy high resolution panel with like 120 Hz and all that. It's a very basic panel. The functionality is the same on both. One doesn't really have way more crazier features than the other one. You do have a built-in fingerprint sensor in the display of the Note 20, which is really, really cool, and I like that. You do not have that capability on the iPhone XR, so kind of keep that in mind. However, the panel looks better on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. Even though it's bigger, I do get the impression that it is a better looking device. So for sure, at the end of the day, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, I believe, has the better looking panel. On top of it, you also have that hole punch display as well, which I think is really, really cool. The iPhone XR, has that notch like I stated. So in terms of the front, I'll let you guys kind of figure it out which one you prefer. Me personally, I kind of like the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 if I'm being honest. The iPhone XR has a lightning port on the bottom. The Samsung Galaxy Note 20 has USB Type-C, and on the back, a glass back on the iPhone XR that feels really, really good. You have a single camera setup though, and in this day and age, it is sometimes better to have more than one single camera. Some people may agree with me on that one, some people don't, but in my opinion, I do prefer having multiple camera sensors, and that is where the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 kind of wins at. However, you do have a plastic back on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, and for a $1,000 phone, that's kind of ridiculous if I'm being honest. That's something that, I've seen phones that have, the Galaxy A71 has it. I think the Galaxy A51 had it too. Either or, you can pick up like a Galaxy S10, even an S10e for less than like $400, and those things have glass backs too. And it's very weird that a phone that is priced at over $1,000 doesn't even have a glass back. Granted, you're probably going to put a case on it, but still, it would have been better had we had that capability. So, in my opinion, the iPhone XR kind of wins in the build quality phase. I feel like I'm holding a more premium device, but the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 definitely looks like a more premium device. So, when it comes down to that, that's kind of what I'd say about it. Again, no one really blows the other one out of the water, but in my opinion, that's kind of where I stand out from the outside. Now, in terms of the software standpoint, obviously this is an iOS versus Android comparison. I don't really know which one is better. You guys can kind of determine that. I like both. I don't really think one is way crazier than the other one. On the iPhone XR, it is an older device. It came out in 2018. You did start off with iOS 12 on that, but you are going to be getting iOS 14 on it and multiple different versions of software on it for sure. Whereas on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, it is that newest device from Samsung. It's starting off with Android 10 on One UI 2.5. However, Samsung did promise an extra year of software updates on the Samsung Galaxy series. So that is really, really big news. I'm really glad that Samsung is pushing that out there. So theoretically, I really don't know which one is going to outlast the other one in terms of full OS updates and security updates, what I will probably tell you is that, the iPhone XR probably still has the advantage. That one may overtake the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, but I still think the Note 20 is going to last a very long time too. The good news is that either phone you pick up at this time, they're both going to be lasting for quite a bit of time. Even if you pick these things up a year later from you watching this video, these things are going to be lasting for a very long time. So I wouldn't really worry about software updates just yet. Chances are you're probably going to go and upgrade the phone before these things get done with their software updates too. So that's a really good thing between both as well. So in terms of software, that kind of covers it up for the most part. Now moving on to the performance side of things, the iPhone XR has the Apple A12 Bionic chip, Hex-core CPU with 3 gigs of RAM on each model, where the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 Plus chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 650 GPU, and 8 gigs of RAM on each model. Now there's only one model of the Note 20. Now what I can tell you is that I did a speed test, and you guys can kind of see it while I'm talking. I have always found that the iPhone XR was a very smooth, heavy performing device. Anything I've ever done with the iPhone XR, it got me from point A to point B extremely fast. I've owned it for a couple of years. I've compared it to a bunch of different phones in the market. I'm sure you guys have seen the hundreds of videos I've probably made on this thing, and I've always liked it. And on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, it really is one of the fastest phones. As you guys can see, almost every single app, it's opening up faster than, the other phones that I've compared it to, and rightfully so. This phone has higher specs, it has the newest chipset inside of it, it has a lot of RAM, and what I can tell you is that between both, they're both really good performing phones still. The Samsung Galaxy Note 20 is the faster one, that's the better performing one, as expected and as it should be. It's $1,000 phone, its performance is probably one of the main aspects for you to buy it, and that's why I would highly recommend picking up a Samsung Galaxy Note 20 over an iPhone XR in terms of the performance side of things. But if the Note 20 was like a 10 out of 10 in performance, the iPhone XR is easily like a 9.5 out of 10, maybe like 8.5 out of 10. Most of the problems that I have with the XR, I don't really have problems with. As long as I'm not comparing it side by side, I would still assume that it's a really fast phone. With the Note 20, it's a good phone too, but definitely when it comes down to it, performance-wise, the Note 20 wins. But I still think, and this is so weird to say after me saying all that, the smoothness factor, meaning going through UI, opening apps, closing things, all that stuff, those things are so much smoother on an iPhone than on a Galaxy. And same thing goes here on a 2-year-old iPhone XR. I still think it's a smoother phone than the Galaxy Note 20, but I feel like the Note 20 is the faster one when it comes down to it. So in terms of performance, that is my opinion, that's my take on it. Now in terms of the camera setup, the iPhone XR has a single 12 megapixel camera on the back. The Note 20 has a triple camera setup, a 12 megapixel wide, 64 megapixel telephoto, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor, and both can do 4K at 60, which is really great. The iPhone XR, in my opinion, has a really good camera setup. Anytime I've done anything with it, it was great. Really the biggest downside of the iPhone XR is the lack of either an telephoto lens and or an ultra wide sensor. It would have been really cool if Apple were to put an extra or additional or whatever camera lens on this one, but again, that was back in 2018. What are we gonna do? Apple eventually did bring it with the iPhone 11, but it's still, that's one of its biggest downsides. The camera quality though is pretty great. Anytime I took a photo with it or video, it looked really good. You guys can look back on the thousands of camera comparisons I've done with this phone, but the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 really does take it to the other level. I feel like the quality of the photos are good. The quality of the videos may be better. That's kind of subjective on both, but the 8K capability that you have on the Note 20 is something that a lot of phones do not have the capability of, including the iPhone XR, and that is something that's really cool. A lot of people are not going to use it, but including me, I would never use it personally, but just having that capability, when that becomes the norm, eventually 4K is going to be the HD that we have, and then 8K is going to be like the 1080p. It's going to happen, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen a couple years from now. And having that capability on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 is seriously a very important thing to have. So when it comes down to it, in my opinion, the camera-wise, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 wins by a landslide. Now ending it off with the battery life, the iPhone XR had a 2,942 mAh battery. The Samsung Galaxy Note 20 has a 4,300 mAh battery. Now both of them have wireless charging, which is really good. However, one which is the Note 20, has the reverse wireless charging capability. So you can charge an iPhone XR from a Note 20 but not vice versa. And that's something that's really, really cool on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. So battery life, funny enough, I would still probably give the edge to the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. I feel like that phone probably has the better capability when it comes down to it in terms of the battery life. You have fast charging on both phones, but still, I would probably give the edge to the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 when it comes down to the battery life. Now, to kind of sum up this video and to answer the question, which phone should you pick up? Should you pick up the iPhone XR? Should you get the Galaxy Note 20? In my opinion, if you have all the money in the world, go get the Galaxy Note 20. It has a lot of different capability. It's a faster phone. The cameras are amazing. The S Pen is great. It looks really good. The screen is awesome. And there's a lot of reasons to pick up the Note 20. But on the iPhone XR, I think this phone, for the amount of money that you're going to spend on it, is also a killer device. You're getting a great phone, great build quality, great software, smooth experience, great battery life, great single camera setup, and there's not a lot to hate on it. It's a very safe phone. And for a package that's less than $500, honestly, it doesn't really get much better than that. So that's kind of my take on it. I'll leave both of these linked down in the description, but like I said, get them from there, help support the channel at the same time. But that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. More importantly, everything else. I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, Tola.